Hi, this is part 3 of I Married a Crazy Cat Lady. Oh my goodness. So, I explained to you in the first 2 parts how my wife and I met and we first, our first kiss and started dating was when she was trying to lure me into her home to see her cats, which we never did see that day. I did meet them later on. Now, we ended up getting married in 2009. And it wasn't until 2016, after my wife had 2016, after she had graduated from law school, and we moved back to Boise, and we'd settled there, and we finally found a house, and we bought it, and we moved in. And so since we had our own home now, we weren't renting, and we had a big, beautiful home, we were like, okay, we'll get a cat. But my wife was acting kind of hesitant, and I was like, well, that's weird. She's the one who was kind of pushing this whole cat thing, right? So, a friend of mine, she has a cat that has a litter of cats, and there was one little cat left, and it was the little runt of the bunch, and a little black and white tuxedo cat. And I got this idea, and I told the kids, I said, get a load. If you guys really want the cat, you guys are going to take care of it and help. You're going to learn how to take care of it. Well, maybe we can get this, but we're going to have to bring the cat into the house so Mama Kay will fall in love with it, and then it's ours. I knew my wife, as soon as she had the cat in hand, it was like, she wasn't, it wasn't going to go anywhere but stay here with us. And, it worked. So we got our first cat, little Duchess. Now, when the winter came, and it was February 2017, Duchess went missing. She got outside and apparently got lost, and we couldn't find her. And it was going on 2 weeks, and there was just snow. It was a very cold winter with tons of snow everywhere, and it just wasn't melting. It was just snow. Okay, and we couldn't find her, and we were looking everywhere. We were going to the Humane Society looking for her, and one of the times we went to the Humane Society, my wife noticed that you could go and check out cats, and she kind of took a peek at some cats to adopt. And she comes home and tells me, hey, maybe we can adopt a cat, because we lost Duchess, and the kids are pretty sad. And I'm like, okay, let's see if we go there. And we went to the Humane Society, and I'm like, okay, we're going to adopt a cat, right? I'm thinking one cat. Like, we checked to see if Duchess had been found, and she hadn't. And nobody had turned her in there. So, I was like, okay. This was at the Humane Society, and there was this cute little guy, gray tabby cat, and I felt bad because he had been born there at the Humane Society, and then adopted, and then the person who adopted him, she had too many dogs, cats, and I think like some rabbits or something. We're not turtles. She just had a lot of weird animal pets. And she had like a studio apartment, and she was like, I can't afford them all. I got too many, so she returned the kitten back. So I wanted to bring this little guy home. And the woman saw my family and the cats and thought, hey, maybe they'd want to adopt this other cat who had he's older, and he'd been there. He'd been found in December, and he was at a different Humane Society in the county, and been transferred over to Boise. So he had been found in the snow in the winter, and he'd been very sick. He ended up having to lose all his teeth because of mass infections in his mouth. It was really sad. He had to have all his surgery. So I felt for him. I know it's like, because my teeth, I've had to pull them all out, and I'm getting them capped because I grind my teeth from stress. You have stress since your childhood, you grind your teeth down to nubs. It's bad. And yes, I've had mouth guards. I just ripped them to shreds, just ground them into shreds. So yeah, it's intense. But this poor cat was like, had barely any teeth, and he was older. He was like 3 or 4 years old. And it was like, oh, and he was just, we went into this room with him, and he just was so adorable. And so we couldn't decide between which cat. One, and this other cat, this older cat, he's a Maine Coon, so he was a big, big, big cat. It's a big cat, okay? Big cat, big orange fluff ball. My wife convinced me and the kids to get both of them. And I'm like, well, okay, okay, you know what? Maybe we can handle 2 cats in our home. All right, fine. I go along with this. We bring them both home, and the 2 of them are getting along well, and they're happy in the house. And a couple days later, my kids had taken a walk down to the park, and you know, there's still cold and snow, but some of it had melted in the streets and in the sidewalks. You could walk around, and there was these tennis courts in the parking lot. I mean, at the park. And they heard this cat just, and they look over, and it was our little Duchess. She was thin, she was shaggy, she was in a pathetic state. And I remember they were running over and grabbed her, and my daughter had my son's phone and trying to talk to us, and both kids are yelling, "We found her! We found her!" And you know, Haley, they were FaceTiming and they were showing us Duchess in my son's arm, Pink, and he's just holding her tight, just crying. They were crying. They were just so happy. So you had to make room for 3 cats. But the story doesn't end there. Oh, no, 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 no. We still get more cats. And I will talk about that in part 4. Just think about this. When I met my wife, she had a cartoon taped on her wall of these cats passed out, like on the sidewalk or around the lawn in front of a little garden. And it says, okay, well, this is your problem kind of thing. You're the one who decided to plant the catnip to attract a cat. That is a hint to what is coming up for the next story. Of my wife, the crazy cat lady. Yeah, now we have 3 cats. And I thought, okay, we're not going to get more. Our grand total is right now 7. So I got stories galore. Let's get to part 4 another time. Bye.